we love you. And before we get into how we first met and all those
Right.
different things, I need to know.
Yeah.
Like we're taping this at 7:30 at night.
Right.
What'd you have for dinner tonight?
I went to this incredible, as good as I've ever had in my life meal, Bruno's in Howard Beach. We were at a funeral. My son's best friend's grandfather passed. We
Sorry to
paid
hear that.
our respects. And then I just said, Google the best restaurant in Howard Beach. And Bruno's came up at a 4.7. So we immediately drove there. And it was as good as any meal I've ever had in my life. I had the Bronzino and linguine white clam. So I had two full meals. But prior to that, had their eggplant rollatini, which was to die for. I had these beautiful, like cauliflower flowers that were breaded. They were unbelievable. I had a dozen baked clams. I had 9. My son had 3. And we were with his girlfriend. And it was just like one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. For dessert, cannoli, spumoni, tiramisu, just the best ever. So if you're ever in Howard Beach, or if you ever just want a restaurant that's a bucket list to die for, old school, expensive, you're going to pay, but old school Italian, Bruno's in Howard Beach.
I got to tell you, I think you're second to none as far as energy, both energy, love for mulch, and also posting food on your socials because it's nonstop. Your breakfast, the omelets. I'm like, Jesus. And then maybe this is a weird question, Stu, but like, what are your bathroom habits like? Are you going multiple times a day because of all that food that you consume?
I'm consistent. I'm good for like 20 pp's, but I'm drinking 2 to 300 ounces of liquid. Okay. So 20 pp's and at least 2 to 3 poopies.
I mean, three seems excessive for a day, but with all those calories you're consuming right
I'm,
out of the
I'm
gate,
eating between 5 to 20,000 calories a day.
do you just love eating? You make me love eating even more, but do you just love it?
How I feel is this. First of all, I mean, obviously, eating my wife's vagina has to be number one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's talk. But after that, yes, more than gambling, more than winning, more than making millions of dollars, thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, being right, having, proving people wrong, people looking at me like I'm a moron. They ask me a question, they're like, how did you know the answer? I go, I'm Stu Feiner. You're fucking not. Yes, food for me is right under sex, like number 2. If Sandy wasn't a 10, it would be number 1. You know what I'm saying?
Not only do I think you're highly entertaining, one of the reasons why I really started to like you, and I'll get into the story about how we met initially. I don't even know if you remember the first time that we met. We've met at least twice, maybe more, but I don't know if you remember the first time. But one of the reasons why I really like you is obviously you're out there and you're funny and you're entertaining and all those things, wacko. But I think you're just a good dude with positive messaging nonstop. You swim in those laps, you wake up, good morning, everybody. You're really lost in the tornado that is Stu Feiner is a really positive individual that I personally like.
I love you and thank you. And that's why it works. I mean, that's why I'm able to, like, I'm like bulletproof. I'm like Donald Trump, bulletproof. Like, I can do anything, I can say anything, I can act any way. And, literally from Dave Portnoy to Donald Trump to you will go, oh, that's Stu being Stu. You know what I'm saying? So, look, I'm a good father, I'm a good husband, I'm a good friend. I've been generous my entire life. I've given away. I've trusted people for millions, and I've got beaten more than I've got paid back. So, I mean, bottom line is this: God knows that, people know that, everyone knows that, because do unto others as you want to be done unto you. My father taught me that, and that's basically the way I live. And I live like I'm going to die tomorrow. I don't take tomorrow for granted. When I go to sleep tonight and I make plans, who knows, especially since now I'm 65, where, like, these problems with the diabetes and me eating sugar, and really my A1C is 9.7. And, I'm an amazing athlete. I'm an unbelievable athlete. I have unbelievable stamina. I ran the marathon in 2017. I went from 220 to 174, and Tiki Bob only beat me in 2017 by a minute and 4 seconds. So think about that. I went from 220, 174, ran 512 miles, 3 months, 3 weeks. So I'm in amazing shape. But at 65, you never know. You're like, 65 is a pretty fucking great year. Considering I thought, Sal, be honest with you, I didn't make a mistake from when I was 18 to probably 30. 12 years, perfection. Everything I touched turns to gold. Was making millions in the 90s, had the biggest house, making the most money. I was the most popular. I had my own TV show, although then I was paying 100,000 a week, but I was on every sports channel, especially before 1994. Rupert Murdoch bought all the sports channels because he bought the NFL programming in 1994 from CBS. He stole it. He paid more, and but he had no sports channels to show it. So he bought every sports channel in the country up until then, from 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, and 94. I was on the sports channel paying them the money. He bought the sports channel, threw me off, took me off 80% of my markets. That was like horrible. And then battled back through just winning and promotions and having fun. People love me because I'm not afraid to say that if I was 2 inches shorter, I would be perfectly round.
Well, that
Conrad Dogma saw me in a restaurant in 1990 at the Super Bowl in Biloxi, Mississippi, and said to me, "Hey, you know something? If you were 2 inches short, it'd be perfectly round." The NFL player Conrad Dogma, supposed to be like the meanest guy in the world, hysterical.
I didn't realize how short you were. I get that a lot. I don't know, maybe like on the radio because I was loud. People think I'm tall. Whether
How
it's
tall are
Aaron
you?
Boone, I'm 5'10". That's
All
like
right,
that's
so I mean, look, I'm 5 inches shorter than you. I'm 5'5".
right. I think 5'10" is normal. But when I first saw you, and do you remember where we first met?
No,
You had no guesses whatsoever.
no.
We met like 2 times, only 2 times. Do you even remember the 2 times, or were you high?
I remember both times. I probably was 100% high. What are you talking about?
You definitely were high.
Yes, yes,
The the
100%.
the
Both times.
first one was at Boomer and Geo live at the boat show. They did a
Right.
morning
I
show
remember that. Of course, I
by the
remember
boat.
that.
That was
Told
the
you I
first time.
loved you. I love you, Sal. I said that.
No, I know I didn't expect you to necessarily remember, but the Boomer and Geo, that boat event was the first time.
Right.
And I remember I was like, "Oh, Stu Feiner," and I couldn't believe how short you were. And then
Right.
we met, but you were also, great dude, big hug, all that stuff.
Right. No,
And
no,
then
no.
and then we met at JJ's wedding. That you remember.
Of course, we hung out.
Do you remember that, or don't you
I
remember?
remember both.
Okay. Well, I'm just making sure. But yes,
My days are filled with Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Robert
Hulk
Kraft. So
Hogan.
if I remember you the two
No,
times,
not
I love you, though.
no. It's well, right, and I remember it because it was like, wow, I can't believe this loud, big personality that climbs on top of mulch and runs laps with his dog and dives in the pool with his shirt on is that short. But
In
obviously,
the Listen, in the 80s, I met customers and they were like, "God, I can't believe this is you. I thought you were like 6'4". Everybody, if I saw 10 customers in a row, they go, "God, are you small?" He goes, "I thought you were 6'4".